Hello everyone. Today we're doing inequalities. Interesting. It's part of algebra. Okay. So we have what? The inequality signs, right? So you know this thing from the primary. It is for less than. And then this sign it is for greater than. You know that most. And then since now you are in the higher grades, this one it is now for what? Less than or equal to. This one it is what? Less than, but you see this one is it's now saying what? Or equals to. And then this one it is what? Greater than or equals to. You see, same thing. And then before we start, I want you to show you some few things that the inequality sign can change on two conditions, only on two conditions that you have to know. Right now, the first condition, it is when you are multiplying or dividing throughout by a negative sign. So multiplying or dividing throughout by a negative sign. Okay, sharp. For example, I have my minus x. Let's just say you solved your thing and then you arrived from this, you arrived to this stage, and then maybe it was maybe 5 marks. Then you arrived here, and it is saying negative x is less than or equals to minus 4. And you know mathematically that you can't solve for a negative variable. So what you will do? You will divide both sides by minus 1. Okay, and then since this one is gonna change, it will be x, ne? But mind it will be what? Greater than or equals to 4. You see, that's when it changes. So the first condition, it is when multiplying or dividing throughout by a negative sign. Is it fine now? Whenever you divide throughout by a negative sign, you must know that you're gonna change the sign. So number 2, it is when a number being transposed and it changes the sign from positive to negative, right? So it is what? X squared minus 25 greater or equals to 0. I'm not going to write the statement. You must listen to me when I say something. When a number being transposed changes a sign from positive to negative. So since I have something like this, I know that I can do it into different ways, this one. But for now, let's do it step by step. So now I can do it since this what? Difference of 2 squares. So it will be x minus 5, x plus 5, and then greater or equals to 0. Then I know what to, since everything is equal to 0, I'll do what? Equate everything to 0. But let me do it step by step. So x minus 5 less than or equals to 0, or x plus 5 less than or equals to 0, right? And then manje, let me show you something. Let's continue. So this one is gonna be what? X is greater or equals to 5, or x is what? Less than or minus 5, because manje it is a what? A negative sign. Is it fine now? So now let me show you how to solve inequality questions, because now I think I showed you something that I had to explain before, but it's fine. Let's move. So this is how you solve it. They are splitted. Okay, now check. Let me say I have what? Ax squared plus bx plus c, whereby your equation it is what? Greater than 0, right? So you'll do what? You'll have to split. Let's just say 4 and minus 3. It means you're gonna say x is what equals to minus 3, x is less than minus 3, or x is greater than 4. That's when you split. Okay, and then number 2, let's just say my equation it is what? Less than 0. Ax squared plus bx, it is now less than 0. That's when you do what? You combine your answers. I'm going to use the very same answers that I got there. So remember, you're going to start with the smallest number. Then it will be minus 3. Take your sign, less than x, less than 4. That's how you represent it. Even if it is the negative numbers, start with the smallest numbers, minus, maybe minus 4, and then less than or equals to minus 1. You see, small, big. Sometimes they even give you what, some of them do they have this graph whereby it guides them, then they'll write your minus 4, your minus 1, then I don't know whatever they're doing there. So it's not necessary. It basically guides them on how to represent their answers. But now you must know what to do, right? Okay, so now let's move. And you must know that these numbers are your critical values. You simply say CV, and you say 4 and minus 3. Then you're gonna solve your maths. Ne? So now Let's check an example. So the first example, let me change my markers. Let's just say I have what? X squared minus 2x less than or equals to 15. You know the first thing that you must do, you must put your thing in this order, right? So it will be what? X squared minus 2x minus 15 less than or equals to 0, right? And then you're gonna simply factorize. I'm gonna factorize. So it will be what? X minus 5 x plus 3, and then equal less than or equals to 0. And then when you are done, you're gonna do what? Do things separately and step by step. X minus 5 less than or equals to 0, or x plus 3 less than or equals to 0. So this one will be x, ne? And then manje, it will be what? Less than or equals to 5. Or x, since it is what? Negative 3, it will be what? Greater than or equals to minus 3. Remember what I said, guys. Whenever your number it is being transposed to the other side and it changes from being positive to negative, you will have to change the what? The sign. This is what just happened now. It was positive. When you go to the other side, it will be what? Negative. Is it fine now? So I guess you now understand it. So now I want us to move on to the second example, which is now the very common one. So I'm gonna write it here. 2. 16 minus 4x. This what? Greater than or equals to 0, right? And then it is gonna be what? Let me just take this 16 to the other side. So there will be 4x, negative 4x is greater than or equals to minus 16. Then I divide everything by a minus 4. And then I'll have my critical value as x is less than 4, because it changed the sign. Okay, guys, that's how it is, guys. So for inequalities, when your equation it is greater than 0, you split your critical values and then you're gonna put them like this. When your equation it is what? Less than 0, you combine your answers, right? And then that's how you present them, from the smallest number to the biggest numbers. And then these are examples, guys. Okay, I hope you enjoyed.